My name is Maria Ysabel de Guzman. I'm 33 years old, and on the day my daughter was born, I died. It happened on a warm morning in May at a public hospital in Manila. The sky was bright, no signs of what was coming. I had prayed the night before, holding my rosary the way my nane taught me as a little girl, asking Mama Mary to be with me. Benjo, my husband, was by my side, nervous but smiling. He held my hand and whispered, "Kaya mo yan, mahale." Everything was going fine at first. The doctor said the baby was doing well. I was tired but full of joy, ready to finally meet the little girl we had waited so long for, Anna Ruth, our miracle after 3 years of trying. But then something changed. I remember hearing the nurse say code red and someone shouting, "She's losing too much blood." My vision blurred. I saw Benjo's face twist in fear. His hand gripped mine tighter as they pushed him away. Them pain. Then nothing. Not darkness. Not fear. Just silence. The machines. The shouting. My husband's crying voice. All of it faded like the last few notes of a song. And suddenly, I was above it all. I could see the doctors working on my body, blood on the floor, the nurse doing compressions, someone calling out "flatline." Saw Benjo in the hallway, hands over his mouth, tears in his eyes, praying like he never had before. And I saw her, my baby, so small, wrapped in white, crying, so alive. It broke me. I wanted to go back, to hold her, to tell her that I was here, that Mama was here, but I couldn't move. And then I was no longer in the hospital. Farewell. The air shimmered with light, soft, golden, not like any light I've seen before. It felt like 1,000 gentle hands were holding me. I wasn't scared. I felt peace, like the kind you can't find on earth. I remember thinking, so this is what it feels like to be free. But deep inside, something was calling, a presence, warm, steady. And without a word, I knew I was not alone anymore. I didn't walk. I didn't float. It was like I was being drawn, gently, lovingly toward something brighter than the sun, but not blinding, not harsh, as pure. The light around me shimmered like morning mist touched by fire, and in it were colors I couldn't name, not red or blue or gold, but something more alive, like the light itself was singing. And the silence, it wasn't empty, it was full of something holy, like every breath of that place was a song of welcome. Then I felt it, a presence, not approaching, not stepping forward, but already there, waiting. You didn't have to say anything. My soul already knew. This was him. Not an angel, not a voice in the clouds. It was Jesus. And just knowing made me fall to my knees. I didn't see him at first, not fully, but I felt his eyes, looking at me the way no one ever had, like he saw everything I had ever done, every prayer I'd whispered, every time I doubted, every time I pretended to be fine. And yet, I didn't feel judged. I felt known, truly, deeply known. And then he spoke, just my name. But it was enough to break something open inside me. He didn't say it like a stranger. He said it like he'd always known how to say it. Like he'd been saying it long before I was ever born. I began to cry, though I didn't have tears. "Jesus," I whispered. "But I'm Catholic. I thought I knew you through Mass, through rituals, through Sunday obligation. He came closer. His presence was warmth, but not just of fire. It was the warmth of truth, of kindness, of perfect love.
You knew about me, Maria, but now you will know me.
And with that, the light deepened, and he showed me what I had never dared to ask, what truly matters. I was still kneeling. The air around me was alive, but still. My heart was racing, yet at peace. I looked at him, Jesus, radiant, gentle, but with eyes that held centuries of truth. And questions, so many questions rose inside me. I've followed the church since I was a child, I said, my voice trembling. I prayed the rosary every night. I went to Mass. I confessed. I did everything I was taught. But I never felt this. He didn't interrupt. He just listened, like every word I said mattered. And then he answered.
Your prayers reached me, Maria, every one of them, even the silent ones you thought no one heard.
I cried, not out of guilt, but because I finally felt heard. But why do I feel like I never really knew you? I asked.
Because religion taught you rules, but not always relationship. Rituals, but not always intimacy. Are you saying the church is wrong?
He shook his head, softly.
No, not wrong, just incomplete, just like every religion that claims to speak for me but forgets to look like me.
I felt those words go deep.
I see the heart, not the label, not the uniform, not the temple. I see love, I see mercy, I see those who defend the poor, the broken, the forgotten.
He paused.
And I have seen my name used for power, for fear, for control, and it grieves.
Then I saw flashes, not of light, but of history. Crusades, persecution, corruption in churches, religious wars, people killing others in the name of God. My soul trembled. How did we get so far from you? I whispered.
When people stopped walking with me and began walking in my shadow.
Then he lifted my face gently.
This is why I brought you here, not to shame you, but to awaken you.
To what? I asked.
To the truth that sets you free, the truth that I'm still here, waiting not inside a system, but inside every heart that truly seeks me.
At that moment, I knew I hadn't died to be judged. I had died to be awakened. The light around us shifted, like the air itself had become heavier, more solemn, yet still sacred. Jesus turned his gaze outward, and suddenly I saw it. A land I had never visited but instantly recognized. Jerusalem. I saw the ancient stones, the golden light over the western wall, and the people praying, weeping, holding their hopes in trembling hands. It was beautiful. Our life and dead. It changed. Darkness began to move like clouds over the land. I saw explosions, people screaming, missiles streaking across the sky, children hiding, mothers crying. Then I heard his voice.
They sees Israel, my first chosen, still carrying the story I wrote into time.
I didn't know what to say. I thought you came for everyone, I whispered. Why does Israel still matter so much?
I can for all, but my covenant with Israel was never broken, only forgotten.
He looked at me with eyes full of pain.
My heart aches for them, for every promise turned into politics, every prayer twisted into power.
Then I saw the face of a man I recognized from the news, the Prime Minister of Israel.
Benjamin Netanyahu follows the strategies of men, not the wisdom of God.
That shocked me. But he's defending Israel, I said. Aren't strong leaders necessary in dangerous times? Jesus' eyes met mine, not angry, just honest.
Strength without surrender becomes pride, and pride blinds a nation.
I was silent.
True protection doesn't come from weapons, but from returning to me.
The vision shifted again. This time, I saw Palestinian children, injured, crying for help. My chest tightened.
You think I do not weep for them too?
His voice broke.
Both sides have turned my name into a sword, forgetting I came not to destroy, but to heal.
Had wanted to look away, but he wouldn't let me.
My people, my Israel, must remember who they are, not just a nation, but a light for the world.
And in that moment, I saw both beauty and burden. A nation chosen, but still so lost. The vision shifted again. I didn't know where I was now, but I saw people, crowds, cameras flashing, news headlines in languages I didn't understand. And then, there he was, Donald Trump, standing between two groups of leaders, one Jewish, one Arab, all gathered around a long table with a peace agreement in front of them. My instinct was confusion. "Well, him," I whispered, not even sure if I meant it as a question or a protest. Jesus answered, not harshly, but with a steady calm.
Many mock him, many fear him, and many misunderstand him, but I can use anyone, even the unlikely, even the unwilling.
I looked again at Trump, his face unreadable, his hands resting over the papers as if unsure or unaware of the weight of what he was signing.
Will be used to fulfill what others could not because of his righteousness, but because he does not follow the patterns of old. But he's controversial, I said, still struggling. People either love him or hate him.
Jesus nodded slowly.
It's not perfect, no man is, but he will broker a peace that seems impossible.
The scene flashed. I saw news anchors, shocked. People protesting, others celebrating, the world stunned. Will this happen soon? I asked.
In the time appointed when the world least expects it.
Then his voice grew softer, but firmer.
Do not confuse my use of someone with my approval of all they do. I look at the heart, and I use whom I choose, not based on politics, but on purpose.
That pierced through every idea I had carried with me. Jesus wasn't choosing sides. He was choosing impact. And suddenly, I understood. This wasn't about Trump. It was about timing, about how God weaves his purposes through even the most unlikely hands. And in that realization, I felt the weight of something holy, not in the man, but in the mystery. The light around us dimmed, not in anger, but in sorrow. And then, the vision changed. I saw the world as it is now. Scrapers glowing at night, highways filled with cars, but homes full of silence. Teenagers scrolling endlessly, eyes hollow, searching for attention in a screen that never truly answers. Children eating dinner alone, while their parents typed on glowing devices, not even looking up. And then I saw a boy, no more than 12, headphones on, playing violent games for hours. Next to him, his mother, crying quietly in the kitchen, whispering a prayer she wasn't even sure God still heard.
This is the new famine, not of food, but of attention, of love, of presence.
I couldn't look away. I saw girls comparing their bodies to filters, starving for beauty that doesn't exist, hating the mirror and then themselves. I saw families in the same room, but worlds apart. One girl sat in her room, crying after someone leaked a private photo she never meant to share. Her message read, "No one will ever love me after this." Jesus turned to me.
The world is louder than ever, and yet lonelier than it has ever been.
I saw churches full of people, but hearts distracted, hands lifted in worship, but minds wandering to bills, likes, screens. I saw leaders preaching power, not humility. And I saw young people searching for truth but getting lost in lies with millions of views.
They crave connection but have forgotten communion. They chase freedom but are enslaved by addiction, comparison, and fear.
Then I saw a child kneeling by her bed, praying. Not loud, not perfect, just honest. Jesus, if you're real, can you please see me? And in that moment, Jesus wept.
I see her, I see them all, even when the world forgets them. I don't.
The light began to fade. The peace, the warmth, the presence that had become my entire world started to slip away. And in that stillness, I heard him once more.
Rhea, your mission is not finished. Your daughter needs your mother, and the world needs your voice.
Tears formed, though I had no eyes. I don't want to leave, I whispered. I've never felt so whole.
I know, heaven is home, but this is your time.
Will I see you again? I asked, my soul desperate not to let go.
I will never leave you, not for a moment. When you pray, I'll be near. When you speak, I will give you words. When you feel lost, I will be the light.
Then he reached out and touched my forehead.
Tell them, I have not forgotten Israel. Tell them, my love is bigger than politics or religion or war. Tell them I am still coming for the hearts of my people.
And with those final words, everything vanished. The silence was replaced with chaos. I felt pain rush back into my body like a tidal wave. A choking gasp, blinding lights, shouting voices. She's breathing, we've got a rhythm, she's back. I opened my eyes and saw Benjo crying at my bedside, holding our baby, alive, healthy, beautiful. They placed her in my arms, and I wept. Her name was Anna Ruth. Grace and loyalty, exactly what we had been given. The doctors told me I was gone for nearly 10 minutes, clinically dead, no pulse, no explanation. But I had one, Jesus, and I remember every word he spoke, every image he showed me, every promise he gave. At first, I only told Benjo, then Father Elvin, then others. Some believed, some rolled their eyes. Some said it was a dream, a hormone reaction, a near-death delusion. But I know what I saw. And more than that, I know who I saw. He is real. He is coming. And he still speaks, not just to saints, but to mothers, to teachers, to broken people who didn't even know they were chosen. Like me, if you're still here, thank you. Maybe this story touched something in you, a memory, a longing, a question you've carried for too long. Maybe you felt like no one sees you, that your prayers go unheard, that this world is too loud for God to speak through. But I want you to know, Jesus still sees you. He still speaks. And yes, he still calls people back from the edge of death, not just to save their bodies, but to awaken their souls. If you've ever doubted, like I did, if you've ever asked, Lord, do you still care? I hope this story gave you an answer. And if it did, I invite you to be part of this journey with us. Subscribe to this channel, not for numbers, but to walk with others who are searching for truth just like you. Leave a comment, share your story, your prayer, your thoughts. We read every word. Pray with us, for Israel, for the broken, for those lost in silence and noise. Share this video, you never know whose life it might touch. And above all, remember, he is closer than you think, and he's not done writing your story yet.